I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY, and y'all are here for the cookout. So come on in, everybody. Drop your city, your state, your country, your island, and your side dish, baby, because we got to eat. Okay, so drop your side dish, too, into the chat. Let me know where you guys are coming from, and I'll say hello to a couple of the folks, okay? Come on in. I love to see everybody. Make sure y'all hit that like button too, okay? I see Miss Cheryl is in the house. What's up, Cheryl from Seattle, Washington? Welcome, girl. Nice to have you. Miss Gloria is in the house. What's up, my St. Louis sister? We also have Queen T, baby. She says she can't wait. Good. Nice to have you, Queen T. We also have, is it Mandu? I believe it's pronounced. Teresa, who is one of my members, is in the chat. Happy Friday from the DMV. Welcome, everybody. We also have Sherry, TGIF. We also have Miss Melissa Burnett. Welcome, girl. Nice to have you. New Jersey's in the house. Who else? Who else? Ophelia is in the house. I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming in and hanging out with me this Friday, baby, because we're going to talk about some things. Make sure you take the poll at the top of the chat. I want to know how y'all feel. There was a clip that dropped for tomorrow night's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville where, you know, we've been expecting this, okay? So we're not going to pretend like we didn't know this was going to happen. But Tisha got to tell her husband what went down between her and Destiny, them going at each other while he was over there enjoying Rome with their son, MJ. And he tells her, Tisha, I don't have time to try to build you an office for you to, you know, be this businesswoman while you out here sister girling is how he said it with Destiny. He said, baby, I don't play that game, okay? What's up, Miss Tina Forever? Nice to see you, girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, he said, no. He said, why are you doing that? Furthermore, this is where Destiny better perk her damn ears up. Because, listen, she already said, not only is Tisha out here, okay, playing me like a fool, talking about, you know, what's going on underneath my clothes, so is Marsau. And Marsau had the nerve to say, okay, out of his mouth, a lot of people out here calling him a hoe. He said, the way Destiny, who's not married and runs through men, I don't give a damn what that hoe say about me. I don't care what she says about me, Tisha, and neither should you. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your breath on the likes of Destiny. Destiny! Oh my goodness, girl. I need you to come in here and I cannot wait to hear what you got to say about that. Because that was some dirty birdie shit, okay? Come on in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You said you want to pick them both. Yeah, you know, they only give you so much room to put down a comment. So I hope y'all realize I was saying, listen, you either side with Tisha because, yes, you side with Tisha because she wants to protect her family. Hold on. Did I write that right? I said, is Marsau wrong for telling Tisha not to defend him against Destiny? And I actually wrote it wrong. So I'm going to take this poll down, y'all. Give me a second. I wrote the poll wrong. My bad. I'm going to rewrite it. So is Marsau wrong for telling Tisha to, you know, back up and give Destiny 50 feet? In fact, give Destiny, you know, a whole planet to herself because he doesn't want her to, he doesn't want Destiny and Tisha to be friends no more is what it looks like. And I'm about to tell y'all some tea that y'all might have forgotten because y'all know how I do. I remember everything. I remember everything. So hold on one second. Redoing the poll. I apologize to anybody who voted already. Please re-vote, okay? Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. All right, I put it back up. It might actually say it the same exact way, child. I might have just read it wrong. Anyway, everybody come in, come on in, come on in. I appreciate y'all. So what he actually told Destiny was, or not Destiny, his wife Tisha was, don't defend me against a hoe. She's a hoe. She's not married. She runs through men like water. That's some dirty birdie to say. Okay. I'm losing my eyelash, child. I might have to go get some more glue. I don't know. Hold on. But anyway, y'all come on in. Everybody, welcome. We were supposed to have a special guest today, Miss Confessions from Confession of a Reality Queen, but she ended up sending me a message a little earlier saying that she had an incident that happened in her family that she needs to help take care of. So she's actually going to come back next week, hopefully. She said that she have some time next week. So we're going to get her scheduled again for next week. And we're going to talk about Wes and Summer House and, you know, the white boys, okay, who are F boys too, who date the black girls. Okay. We're going to talk about that. But she got a whole lot of tea on it. So I know that's one of her specialties. We're going to get into that. Okay. So take the poll at the top of the chat. You said what now? Child, you said Marsau is trying to protect himself. I think that Destiny knows where the bodies are buried. Baby, let's just say this. We don't need no more bodies on Marsau. Y'all, I mean, whether there's a body shown or not, we don't care. Everybody believes that the man is guilty. The only thing that is going to ruffle anybody's feathers at this point is if he's on somebody's registry, on the FBI most wanted list. You know what I'm saying? It got to be something like that. If it's him between another woman's legs, nobody cares. Not in that sense. We don't need any more proof because nobody needs proof. This is a rumor that has been out there since the show started, right? And nobody said, you know what? No proof. I don't believe it. I don't believe it because there's no proof. Everybody said proof or not. So everybody has said proof or no proof. I don't care. I'll give up my first grandbaby. That's how sure I am of it. So we can just cut that right on out. No proof is necessary. Am I right? I think so. Even though people keep asking for it, the only reason why you're asking for it is because you doubt it. You doubt it because after 5 years of nonstop chatter, and let's face it, at one point, 365 days a week, 365 days a year, not a week. I'm not Porsha Williams, my bad. 365 days a year. That was a conversation that was being had about that man. And there was a blogger who was dedicated to dropping all kinds of stuff about him and other women and how she had tea. And then she came out and shared with everybody where it was coming from. And nobody's changed their mind or opinion at all. But I want to know how you guys feel about that, okay? Because I'm just going to remind you guys. Because someone had left a message in my comment section a little earlier, a really nice person. And I responded back to her. But she said, I'm going through all of your stuff. And I just wanted to share this with you about Tisha. Just a reminder, I believe it was season 7, Melody and Marsau sat outside of a coffee shop. And that was where Marsau said, you filed bankruptcy too. And, you know, that type of shit. Melody was, you know, they were going back and forth. Melody said, I'm not going to cry for you, not even when Tisha leaves your ass. Do you remember Melody saying to Marsau, the reason why me and Tisha aren't friends today is because of you? Because everybody keeps questioning how deep they were as friends. Their children were, you know, real close. And I believe they were calling each other like, that's your play auntie, uncle kind of thing over their children. So they had a close relationship. But Marsau is very, very particular about where Tisha hangs out. He didn't like her hanging out with Melody. You know what I'm saying? And now that she got this closer relationship with Destiny, he don't seem to like Destiny too much either. He doesn't seem to like Destiny too much either. And at one point, even though everybody keeps saying, oh, this is the same thing that happened. Well, that same thing happened with Mel. At one point, Marsau was stumping the yard for Destiny. So if anybody switched up, it was Marsau. I just want to point that out because sometimes people don't look at the whole picture. You got to look at everything. Remember how the family, his brothers, would come out and be like, hey, Destiny's my girl. That's my dog. Not Maurice, the other brothers. The other brothers. That's how close they were. Just a reminder. Just a reminder. Keep this in mind, because I like to make sure these storylines connect. And the way this all started was with Marsau. Tisha came home, fed him a little tea. Destiny said this about, and I'm not saying that Tisha shouldn't have done that, because just so you know where I stand, I don't agree with what Martell did to Tisha at that adult field day, game day event. I don't agree with that at all. His problem was with Marsau, but he always drags Tisha into his mess because, like I told y'all, he has a personal vendetta with Tisha. That's what it looks like to me from the outside looking in, because he always mentions her name more so than Marsau is ever mentioned about, Melody or whatever they got going on. He doesn't do that. Martell does that with Tisha. But just so y'all know, Mel was attached to Martell. Destiny is attached to Martell now. I won't say Destiny is attached to Martell. We don't see them out. I don't know if you just mean on the show, but I don't think that they're attached to each other. I don't even think that Melody thought they were attached to each other. What's up? I think it's an independence thing is what I think. I think it's an independence thing. Tisha wants to rip Martell a new one, but she can't. So she goes after the women around Martell. I think that Tisha has a legitimate gripe with Martell. I do. I think she does. I think she did from the beginning. A lot of people have overheard, or I had someone send me something about a video over on Melody's page. And when you listen to this, the first opening, I don't know anything about what goes on her private channels or her paid rooms, because I'm not in there. But I saw the video that was free on YouTube where her and some lady named Angela were talking about the beginning of the show, how it started. And they said that they had gotten a deal or something about signing something off where it was supposed to be 80% business, 20% personal lives. And then Melody admits, because she said, she starts laughing. I know you're going to say I was the reason that it changed, but before you say that, I just had to, I couldn't do it. I had to be honest. So this isn't anything bad, by the way, but if you are very sensitive to anything that has to do with Melody, it's okay to sign off. Because this isn't bad. This is just shit that's out there, and you can listen to it with your own ears. She admits that there was an infamous sizzle reel that went out to the networks. Two networks picked it up. I believe it was OWN. We know it was OWN was one. I think the second one was Bravo, and she referred to it as the infamous sizzle reel, and that sizzle reel was what laid the foundation. And then from Angela's mouth, you overheard her say, well, we promised you, we wanted you to tell your truth. So we were just going to follow the reality, which means that she did just, lay the foundation. This is where I am. I'm not in business with none of these motherfuckers. And she said that again, within the first 2 episodes. Within the first 2 episodes after bringing the comeback group together, she said, baby, go on ahead and find yourself something else to do, because I'm not doing this. That was the first time. So I just wanted to put that out there. Because everybody's been asking the question. I don't care how it's double talked, back talked, whatever the case may be. That's the truth. The truth is, by the time it hits the airwaves with the sizzle reel, the concept change. And the only people who may not have been aware of it is the other members. That would be the Scotts. They might not have been aware that the concept changed, but 80, it sounded like it was no longer 80% business, 20% personal. It sounded like it was 80% Melody and Martell, 20% everybody else. That's what it became. Marsau came home and told Tisha what Martell said, and Tisha attacked Mel for what Martell said. What happened specifically? Lies, more lies? I'm not for sure if I remember. I don't think it happened like that, but I'm not sure. Remember, Melody had told Tisha at the cabin when Tisha said, "I don't have any cheating in my marriage," because she didn't want to be brought into that part of the bullshit. And Mel went and started laughing. She brought her into the bullshit. Melody apologized later for that, but there was a couple of times that they were brought in. It wasn't the other way. Let's put it this way. It wasn't the Scotts disclosing the Holtz business, the then Holtz business. It was the Holtz who disclosed the Scott business. And they put a little stank on it. If I recall, she said Marsau didn't finish projects. Okay. So yeah, then they're vindicated. Whether people like it or not, they didn't sign up for that. They signed up for a different show. Melody said, according to her on her channel, and you can go look, she said, "I couldn't do it. That's not where I am, and I wanted to tell it this way." And Angela said, "We get it. And that's why we agreed to follow the story or the truth, however that played out." But if that was the case, for a long time, there was a hate train that said, and I don't fault anybody for it because, I believe that there were paid trolls or bots or whatever you want to call them, that were assigned to all of our channels that were doing Love and Marriage Huntsville. If we had open platforms, they were assigned to us, and their jobs was to make the story go a certain way. That's why when you would listen to them speak, they would say verbatim. They would say verbatim the exact same thing on everybody's channel, the exact same thing. And after a while, it was just like, wow, we're getting played. We're getting played. The guy on the picture, the guy on the left, on the opposite side of Marsau, his name is Westmoreland. He is from Summer House. And the reason why he's on the thumbnail is because I was going to have our girl Confessions talk about him. Anyway, Westmoreland was dating a Black woman by the name of Sierra. I'll give y'all a little background. And then when she comes on next week, we'll dive into it a little bit more. But he was dating this Black woman named Sierra over there on Summer House. And she had talked to him about, I don't know how I feel. He was attracted to her, trying to push up on her, letting her know, girl, let me get into that. You know what I'm saying? And she said, "Listen, I don't like doing this kind of stuff. I don't, when I date, outside of my race, they fetishize me. I don't want to be a part of it. I can only date you if I know you're serious." Right. And she had this best friend by the name of Amanda, who was also on the show. Amanda had divorced, was going through divorce, and Amanda and Sierra were like this. Sierra helped Amanda through a lot of her heartbreak. What she didn't know is while she was helping her through the heartbreak, Amanda was helping herself to Wes. And the way they played every single body has to be discussed. Okay. Good evening. Come on in. Baby, I'm bringing it up because we love to talk about everybody else, but this slick mother, and I do mean slick, okay? The way he said, "You're not going to guilt me out of anything. I don't give a damn. I am not ashamed. I'm going to the basketball games, to the club. I'm going to the concert events, and Amanda's going to be right here, and I fucking dare you to say anything about it." I dare you to say anything. Oh my goodness, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. But I need either. I want I want Miss Confessions on here. And if she's not able to do it next week, I'll see who else I can bring onto the platform. Okay, come on in. It's a great show. It's a great show. It's a great show. But anyway, I wanted to point that out because Tisha, in my opinion, even though you guys have taken the poll, I'll do the vote in a second. Tisha, in my opinion, you know, she's trying to find her voice, right, on this show. We remember how Tisha started in first season. Every time Marsau said something, she shut down. Don't do this, Tisha. You know, she'd just start crying. And a lot of us watching would get real frustrated with her because we could see her like with a lot of emotion, but we didn't understand, girl, why can't you just say what you're feeling? And so it looked like Marsau was railroading her at every turn. I personally think, let Tisha talk. I want to hear what she has to say. And we're never going to know the truth of anything until she gets it out. So Tisha does fight Marsau back in this scene where she basically says, I don't understand what you're saying. And I don't think you get it. Because for her, she's protecting her family. That's what she thinks. And she doesn't understand why she's being told she's wrong. I understand that. I understand where she's coming from. I also think, though, that Tisha doesn't realize that she was playing on Destiny's top too. And I'm hoping that we'll get that conversation when it comes back, because whether people think so or not, telling someone over and over again, I was down for you, I was there for you when the chips were down, when you were at your darkest hour, we know exactly what she was talking about. Destiny already said it was Tisha who bailed me out of jail. Destiny already said it was Tisha who helped me with the nanny and a whole bunch of other stuff when everybody else had, you know, had fled the scene. And I'm gonna bring this up too. Y'all know this is my and another thing. That's why I brought this up. And another thing, I don't always get to tell this side of the story when I'm doing my review. And sometimes when I see you guys make comments, I'm like, oh, I should have brought that up. So this is my and another thing segment. So here's the other thing that I noticed in my comment section. Someone said, you know, Destiny played Melody and she didn't want to be her friend and da-da-da-da. I want to remind y'all, it wasn't Destiny who snatched her friendship. She didn't break her friendship off with Melody. It was Melody who broke her friendship off with Destiny. Destiny told the story. And when I related to y'all, I said that was some cold-blooded shit. That was cold-blooded, because people don't break up with people. You know, even in friendships, when they're down, they change their number, they move, they quit their job. But confrontation like that is hard for people, so they don't do it. But I said that was the coldest I had ever heard in my life. But Destiny tells a story about what we heard. Let's start there. What we initially heard is that Melody overheard a conversation that Destiny and Tisha were having about her when they were at the reunion. And then things never got right after that. Destiny said at first, you know, I apologize. And she, you know, but we talked every day. We saw each other every day. Melody would send me songs and she would just sing, and whatever these things are that Destiny knew about Mel and their friendship, Melody slowly started pulling back from her. And Destiny was trying to hold on to it. And then we hear a story. This is relayed from Destiny, and I'm doing it from memory. Destiny said that something had happened where she called Melody because Melody knew what was going on between her and her ex. That was when that divorce was still fresh or you know, in that moment. And she was crying, and she said, she told her what happened, and Melody said, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. She's crying hysterically. I just want to point this shit out. This is how cold-blooded this shit was. I'm on my way, girl. You hold on. I'll be right there. That's how it was relayed. She pulled up into the driveway. She gets out. She hugs her. She consoles her for a minute. She prays over her. And then she told her, well, I'm not bringing you into the new year with me. This is where we part ways. Period. And then she left. So the girl was already broken. And then Melody, like a football, put her on the ground and kicked her over the goalpost, okay? Punted her. Goodbye, bitch. Now, like I said, this is funny to me. Hey, Kevin, it's been a long time since I've seen you, boo. Welcome. I think you were here the other week, but I didn't get a chance to say hello to you, and I'm sorry for that. I hope you didn't take anything by that. I love to see Mr. Kevin Moore in the chat. So thank you for coming in. Anyway, I point that out, y'all, because when people be saying, oh, they did this, I'm like, did y'all remember what happened next ever? Like, do y'all never remember how things would turn? That takes so much balls. And y'all know I'm right. When people are like, oh my God, this is the infamy in this fucking friendship, you just change your number. I know y'all got to go to work, but you don't, most people don't have the guts to look a person in the eye, whether they're married, whatever the case may be. Everybody tell you to man up, woman up, put your big drawers on, whatever that happens to be, which lets us know as an audience, if you're one of those people who, look into shit, it lets us know that whatever happened between Mel and Destiny, Melody seemed like she waited till that girl was, down to be like, well, bitch, here's my chance to let you know how I feel about you. To let you know how I feel about you, girl. I'm gonna pray over you and shit, but I'm done. This is it for me. And she repeated that story. Destiny repeated that story. And I was like, woof. Woof. I mean, she's repeated a couple of stories. The story she told about her ex at the hospital. I was like, damn, what the f- are y'all doing? But Destiny's past, where she talks about the last time she saw her mother, and in a police car, all of that stuff ties into how people abandon her. And when she has a conversation with Nell Fletcher, I hope this is all making sense to y'all. But when she has a conversation with Nell Fletcher on the show, where she said, "Don't you can pull your friendship from me. Don't do that. You know how I feel about that. I don't like for people to do that to me. Just an FYI." I do think it's trauma. And I also think that's something that Marsau is doing. I don't know if he recognizes it or not, but this is the stuff. Don't say I'm a part of your family, because I do remember the Scott saying Destiny's a Scott now. Destiny is a Scott now. We got her. And then, flip it. It's hard. It's hard. And so it's interesting, even though people say, I hate this show, I don't like it. The nuances of this show is better than any other on any network ever. And I don't care if you on the show or if you left the show. If I remember the shit, I'm telling it. Okay, come on in. We don't even know what the conversation was she overheard. And what we do know, I will say this, whatever it was she overheard, by the time they get to the St. Thomas trip where Destiny shows up, I'm giving too much details, but I'm gonna give it anyway, because this is the another thing and another thing segment. Let's talk about that damn St. Thomas trip and Melody real quick, because Miss Bucci baby, what's up? I think it's Bucci anyway. Bucci says she did the right thing. Let's talk about the St. Thomas trip real quick, because I want to tell y'all something else that we didn't think about in all of its moving pieces, right? That is the correct version, because nobody came out and said you a fucking lie. You know what I mean? Like, we got to also keep in mind that there was a period of time that when things would come out, Melody was on top of it. It didn't happen like that. And I think the only person who said it, there was a variation to the story, is Mrs. Van, because Van said, I never prayed over you. That was my daughter. She came and told you that, but I stayed in the car. That was the only person who said there was a slight variation of the story. So I'm going to leave Van in the car, but everything else was true. Everything else was true, because it was never debated, ever. And I do believe that Mel said, yeah, I did tell her I wasn't taking her into the new year. It's over. Come on, hit the like button and the thumbs up button. That way y'all can take these stories back to your chats, back to your back rooms in the chats, okay? So let's talk about one more moment that I just want to point out. And this is with the St. Thomas trip, because this was This is when Destiny was getting her sea legs back, right? In my opinion, because that's the only opinion that I can offer here. In my opinion, this is when Destiny was getting her sea legs back. She was invited back to Love and Marriage Huntsville first. Sunny was invited second. This was confirmed on Carlos King's channel. There was a whole bunch of people who were telling it wrong. Not true. And y'all, I'll find it if I have to and put it back out there. But he said that this is how he said it. I invited Destiny back. When we found out that we were going to bring Sunny on, I called Destiny because Destiny needed to hear it from me. I'm calling you to let you know that Sunny is coming back, and this is the circumstances by which she's coming onto, or excuse me, Sunny is coming onto the show, and this is the circumstances, because I don't want you to be, shocked, surprised that this is happening. So that was the conversation that he said on his channel. And she said that she had to think about it like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Because this is a person who knew a lot of her background story. Because Destiny was so quiet about her background. She might have been a little ashamed, because she said it on the TV show when she talked to her mom. She said, I have to get through all these emotions. I'm ashamed about a lot of stuff. It embarrasses me, but I also got to stand in it because I want to be whatever I want to be in life. And I can't let my past dictate how that happens. And I agree with her. She's right. She's 1000% right. Come on in, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate you. So she said, yeah. So I made the decision to stop people from holding that over my head and trying to make me feel bad, because that's how they shut her down. That's how they shut her down. And I told y'all that before. Another way they shut her down is to just mention anything about that husband, because she can't talk back, because he will put her in jail or get her fined. Ex-husband. But let me tell y'all about how slick the St. Thomas scene was. So we remember at the top of the season, Melody meets with Tisha and Kimmy at the plant store. And I think this is season 8, because Melody left in season 9. So in season 8, and I don't know which episode, but very early in the season, she meets with Tisha and Kimmy, and she tells them, child, why didn't y'all call me? Y'all knew Martell had just gotten arrested. Y'all heard it on the news. Why didn't y'all call me? Go back and watch that scene. It'll tell y'all a lot. And Tisha's like, oh, Mel, we're not calling you. Like, we're just now getting us back, because they were taking baby steps to correct things. Melody had said they were calling each other and wishing each other happy Mother's Day, trading pictures of their children. So they were really trying to get back on a decent footing. They were catching up. Kimmy was talking about her mother going through breast cancer treatments and things like that. So they were really talking. And then I think it's Kimmy who said something like, we didn't come to the podcast event because there's fans. She didn't say millimeters. She said there's fans that don't like us, and we didn't want to get there and, get tossed up. Okay. And Melody said, oh, boy, why would they do that? Who told you that? And she said, Sunny said she was there and she got her ass spanked real good. She got spanked real good. And Mel said, well, the reason why Sunny got spanked is because the audience didn't think that she handled herself well. It looked shady as fuck that she would be her producer and then marry a man that she was with, that she had been with for a long time. That's what was said on the show. I know people have changed their stance about that, but when I remember people sending me messages saying, please don't talk to that lady. Please don't interview that lady. They came off super creepy on the reunion stage. Men and women sent me that message. And I was like, really? Oh my God. Anyway, then if I'm not mistaken, after that moment happens, we hear Kimmy say, I agree. Both Kimmy and Tisha said, I agree. She did look shady. I don't like it at all. There's something wrong with it, right? And then Kimmy says, well, what about your friend? What about your friendship with Destiny? And she said, Mel said, she ain't my friend. Okay? She ain't my friend, is what Mel said. And Kimmy went, well, it's not like she slept with your man or something. This is after all the rumors, right? Well, Mel, it's not like she slept with your man. And then Melody said, I don't know what Destiny does. I don't know what she does. Her having a girl code is laughable. And Kimmy and Tisha are like, oh, bitch. They look at each other real shocked, like, oh my God. And then that's what started that scene, right? So the next time we see Destiny in St. Thomas, Tisha greets her at the house. And then Tisha was half drunk off her ass. Tisha had been drinking all the champagne out in the sun on the beach, baby. And then she came back inside. She was like, listen, girl, okay? Mel said, it's possible. And that you might be in Martell. And Destiny went, I could have fucked both of them if I wanted to. That's how that whole thing started. Okay? Now, this is where things get a little crazy. Just so y'all know, and you can go back and watch the scene if you need to. I don't remember what episode any of this is, just remember season 8. When Melody and Destiny connect at dinner in St. Thomas, Destiny comes in. This is somebody who was alleged to have slept with Martell. Destiny comes in. Her and Mel actually speak to each other. And then Destiny says something like, she accuses Melody of being Ariane's friend and being okay with Ariane sleeping with Martell. Now, I want you to think about what you would have done if a bitch who's also sleeping with Martell, you really believe that? How they would have responded to it. Because this is a Lucy Liu moment. If you watch Kill Bill, when Lucy Liu jumped up on that table and then took that knife, that samurai sword, and that man's head came off, she pittered down the table. She said, don't call me no fucking half-breed. That would have been anybody. How are you fixing your mouth to say I was cool with it, right? So Mel said, Destiny, are you crazy? And she said, yeah, you were. You were calling that girl. Y'all were friends. You was talking to each other all the time on the phone. Mel said, Destiny, you know that isn't true. I was crying. I was heartbroken. And she said, then why didn't you black out with me? I told you, let's black out and go whoop that bitch's ass. And you wouldn't do it. And Mel said, so how does it make any sense then, Destiny, if blah, blah, blah? Remember, she's rationalizing with her. Because I went back to look at the scene. This is how I know this happened. And then I said, bitch, not the damn rope-a-dope, not the Uno reverse, not the Uno reverse, getting the details out there that, girl, don't put that rumor out there that I was doing this with him when I sat and watched how you were handling what he was doing with her. And if you didn't respond, I mean, you would have responded to me in a way, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's watching. It's like, you bitch, how dare you? But what she's doing is she's getting the audience to see that if she's not reacting to me in a way that says she wants to whoop my ass, then it's not true. She doesn't believe it. And then I'm going to tell you how else she caught her up. At the end, when they go back to the house, right after dinner, go back to the house. This happened. The cameras are getting set up. One camera catches Destiny mouth, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And Melody races over and hugs her. She didn't sleep with Martell, not unless she did it with her permission. That's all there is to that. Because nobody, I don't care who you are, would allow somebody like that to speak that type of shit over you, to tell that story in that form with all the rest of the cast, because they were all sitting there like, and I mean, every member of that cast had their mouths open. Nell Fletcher was like, Destiny, shut the fuck up. Sit your ass. Remember when Destiny popped up like she was going to do something? And Nell says, Nell's little bit self, sit your ass down. That's when I said, I love me some Nell Fletcher, baby. But you wouldn't do that. You don't have the capacity for it. Nobody does. And I don't care how big you are. I don't care what. She could have been nail size. If you say that shit to me and I know that you've been fucking him, I'm coming for you. But it didn't happen like that. And that's why I said I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And then Melody and Destiny were sitting beside each other on the trip. And what else happened? Mel even clocked Sonny in one of the scenes. Mel said something like, your attitude is stank, against Destiny. And Sonny had to clutch her pearls. So I just want y'all to know, for as much as we say that wasn't a real friendship, there was something. And it hasn't come out, and it may never come out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I just want y'all to know, when y'all be listening to me and instead of fighting me every step of the way, I really think about every piece. I think about all of it before I come on and do a review with y'all. It doesn't mean I'm always right. I'm not saying that. Actually, I love when y'all share stuff in the comments, because I'll be like, oh, damn, I forgot about that. But I like to do these and another things now so that we can get things back on track. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Destiny said, I'm sorry, I love you. And Mel said, received it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not even the Pope, not even Gandhi. You're never going to say those things. And I have some idea. That's why I said those text messages that was supposed to have been sent to her, all of that stuff, womp, womp, absolutely didn't happen. Okay, allegedly sent her, womp, womp. Okay, somebody lied. If we just take the time to deprogram ourselves from some of the lies that came out, some of the lies that came out to trick the audience, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. Anyway, let me get the poll results. Hold on. Let me get the poll results. I told y'all how I felt about it. I think that Marsau is trying to keep Tisha silent. I asked y'all if y'all thought he was trying to keep her classy, or if you think that Tisha should be able to protect her family. It is instinctual to want to be able to protect your family. That's just what it is. But 74% of y'all said that y'all think that Marsau just wants Tisha to keep it classy and to not fight with Destiny. And 26% of y'all said that you think that Tisha should be able to protect her family. Interesting. All right, let's move on to another subject, child. Let me get a video up here. Hold on. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, you guys. I'm not, nobody should be mad about anything or feel like anybody's being hurt or harmed. It's actually on television for your eyes to see, and it was not set up by production. It was a real moment, very much real. Okay, not faked at all. Now, let's talk about K. Michelle real quick. Okay, so listen, K. Michelle is upset, and she made some comments on Tickety Talk, I guess, either Tickety Talk or IG, where she let us know that she's not cool with Porsha Williams at all. Okay, and I guess, you know, the audience is feeling some things. There's a scene that's coming up on Sunday night's episode where she tells the girls that this is not a safe place for me to be. This group isn't safe. The shit y'all do toward each other isn't safe. Y'all remember K. Michelle was sitting right beside Kelly when Kelly makes the accusations to Porsha about R. Kelly. You slept with a married man. Wasn't he married? Now, we also know that other things happened in that relationship where Porsha alleges that she was locked in a room for days, could not get out. And that man just was having his way. And she was afraid. She didn't know if she was going to live or die. And this is what she said. And we also know that K. Michelle has come out and said that she had had some relationship with R. Kelly as well. So I think that she's feeling a little discomfort from having that conversation said beside her. Mel still has feelings for Martell to this day. Just last year, she said that she's still working through it. Just last year, just so y'all know. She also had reduced the charges against him after saying black and white, no gray. She reduced the charges against him. She said he had been sending her messages like regularly saying, please don't do this to your baby's father. So no, I think you don't have feelings for him, but I think that it's a lot harder to get over than people give her credit for. And she has to work through it like everybody else. But I do think that that's a process. And she said, I was covering for you the whole time. She also said, what did she say exactly? I thought that we could get better if I reduced the charges. I thought that we could get better. That's not somebody who hates him. And remember, black and white, no gray. That was a gray area. So that happens when you're not always over the hump. And you definitely would have scratched a bitch's eyes out. That's just on fact. That's common. Everybody would have done it, man or woman, I don't care. Anybody would have done it. Anyway, pleading is not an option. Hugging afterward is not an option. I receive it is not an option. Not an option. She also said on her TikTok that she asked Destiny every day what she wanted for dinner because she thought Destiny was going through a hard time because Sonny was there. She cared for Destiny's feelings. The same person she had went to that porch and said, see you later, alligator. The same person she had told on the porch when she was in a broken space. Bye. The same person who said on her TikTok that when that little boy, Martell's youngest son, comes down to say hello, she turns her whole back to him. And she don't give a fuck what people think about it. So, yeah, that's important too. Keep up, buttercups. Y'all got to keep up with all of it. Keep up with it. I mean, nobody's a robot. You got to go through it. You got to go through it. You got to go through it until you're on the other side of it. Okay, so let's talk about K. Michelle. K. Michelle said, do y'all understand I'm the one that's friends with all of these ladies? This is after she feels this assault. She tells them this isn't a safe place to be. She typed this. She said, do y'all understand what goes on behind the scenes? You don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. I call every lady every single day. Cynthia, I check on. I don't play about Phaedra. She's misunderstood. No, she's not. Angela and me respect each other and want to read off. Shamia is Shamia. She's funny as hell. She has a big heart. She's just hurt about what? I don't know. Kelly is the person who ain't afraid of anyone. And she truly makes sure that I'm okay. Pinky is going to talk to you. It's going to talk you to death about real ish. And Porsha is going to be funny and act like she run the show. Love them all. I have never had a girl as a friend. Never had girlfriends, is what she said. I'm like a lot of women. Let me grow. I mean no harm in real life. She also said that her and Porsha has to sit and talk. Me and Porsha have to sit and talk it out. So we know that even though Porsha tried to, not give all the details to it, we do know now that there's going to be some things that come up in the season that's going to further degrade her relationship with Porsha. So, Looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I hate it for them though, because I really thought that Porsha and K Michelle would be funny, like on the show together. I do think that Kelly is way too heavy sometimes, and Pinky is way too heavy sometimes. So we'll have to see how they play out, even though I still want to see Pinky's growth on the show. Kelly is in a bad season with everything that's happening with her. But anyway, let me read some more comments and see what y'all got to say. I agree. That's what I think. That's what I just said, and that's what I think too. Just like Candy Burruss is going through, is still grieving her marriage. So I guess she had an interview the other day, and the interviewer was asking, how did you get over it? And she pulled them tissues right away, baby. She said, I'm not over it yet. I'm not over it yet. And she said, I believe that the information is out there. We know that Todd did cheat, but it's not that he just cheated, because she thought that they were going to work on getting over it. But he was so nonchalant about it and saying, yeah, I cheated. So what? Get over it. Get over it. Like, fuck your feelings. That she said, this isn't somebody who loves me. This isn't somebody that I know I should be with. I'm too cute. I'm too rich. You know what I'm saying? I'm too talented. I'm too powerful to keep this by me. If anything, I should be telling him to get over it, not he telling me to get over it. I don't want this for myself. And so she's being very honest, whereas before she was closed-lipped until that all the ink dried on that paperwork. And now she has a whole show that she's doing about it that he doesn't like, by the way. He's out here saying, all y'all do is talk about me. And Candy said, boy, if you don't get over it, if you don't get over it and get on someplace, okay, and pick them kids up from school and leave me alone. And I agree. We all know this is how Candy works her stuff out. She will take it on the road, she'll turn it into art, and she gets it out there. And she gets it out there. So I'm happy that she is freeing herself, because, if there is a third or fourth or fifth or sixth person out there, they'll come and use her name to make money off of it. So she might as well say it before they do. But good for her. I appreciate that. I like it. Anyway, let me get y'all this other story, because I gotta get off here and watch my show, watch my program. Who else am I going to talk about? Let's talk about Wendy Osefo real quick. So Purple Pants dropped a story earlier today where she said, baby, Wendy said, I'm not taking the fall for this shit. She apparently was overheard during filming. I guess they were on a bus or something, where the ladies are asking questions about the upcoming or the impending court case for fraud, insurance fraud. And Wendy said, that's not my problem. It's not my idea. It's Eddie's. That's something he has to deal with. And a lot of people are pissed. A lot of people think, girl, if you don't go lock yourself up, if you don't go on down to the county and just wait your time out, okay, so they can subtract a few days when you go to the real penitentiary, you better. There's a lot of people that do not like that Wendy is basically saying that this was her husband's idea, Eddie's idea, and that she went along, if that's what she's saying. She said that she didn't have anything to do with it. Anyway, this is a story that is dropping. Yikes. I know a lot of people feel a ways, child. A lot of people said Eddie's not the mastermind, at least the people watching the show, that y'all have some real strong thoughts about Wendy, and you think that Wendy is the one who got Eddie into trouble. I don't know. I think that Eddie is the one that right now has more charges. He has more charges than Wendy. He was the one who was doing all the negotiation with the insurance companies. He's the one who was signing off on a lot of the stuff and asking about, you know, making all the inquiries. He's also the lawyer. He's also the accountant. So it doesn't look good for him. It doesn't look good for him, even though it's Housewives of Potomac. It doesn't look good for him. Interesting stuff. So that's what's going on with her right now. Who else? Do I have anybody else to talk about? She's still making light of things, though. Hold on. Check this out. So someone was making a joke over that lady, Dr. Bryant, who has been accused of not having a real PhD. And she's a therapist. And she's been doing the work for many, many years, but I don't know who went behind her and started looking up her background and said that she doesn't have a PhD after all. Don't know. She's still saying that she does, but she is unable to pull it because the school is closed. I don't know, because I don't follow that woman. I've never thought anything that she had to say I was interested in, so I didn't I didn't care. But look, somebody is out here saying that Dr. Bryant is nobody's Wendy Afeso, because they sat there and dressed themselves up like they were Wendy. They had 4 degrees in their hand, baby. 4 degrees in their hand. And Wendy got in them comments and she said, now, how did I get in it? Okay. So Wendy is still making jokes out here. She's still, you know, keeping her head up. She don't care. She's still filming. She's filming right now on Real Housewives of Potomac. So we shall see what happens next. Wendy and Eddie have been married for how long? Has it been over a decade? They'll figure it out. This is all husband-wife stuff, child. To do an ex-husband of Atlanta show, Todd, Peter, Mark, and Phaedra. Who's going to produce the show? Todd? I'll have to sit around and I'll see if that's possible. Because if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to see if that's possible. I don't even think those guys like each other very much. But, you know, anything for money. Anything for money. People will do anything for money. Anyway, you guys, let me get this back up. That's pretty much it. I've been on for about an hour, so I am going to wrap it up right now. Anyway, I really loved doing this. I like going down memory lane, and I'm looking forward to bringing on my next co-host, special guest for next week, and even bringing on Vanessa again from Reality Recap. If y'all missed my last interview with her, check it out. I think we did it last week, Monday. It was great. A lot of y'all really loved it. Okay. And she got a lot of things going on that I'm really impressed by. So I know she'll be back on my platform again, or I'll be over on hers soon enough. Soon, and very soon. You said Peter said he already signed on with Todd. Okay. Well, there you have it. They need a little change. They'll get it done. Anyways, you guys, thank y'all for hanging out with me for this hour. Hit the like button, share the video, follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. Thank you to all of the mods who showed up in the chat. I appreciate y'all, as well as all of you, my members, all of you who came in to hang out. Nobody said anything bad about anybody, by the way, child. But, you know, I'll figure it out later who's talking about me behind my back. Or y'all can talk about me in front of me. It doesn't matter. Anyway, hit the like button, share the video, you guys. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you for rocking with me. Until the next one. Bye-bye.